Craziness.
It's completely crazy. Definitely got to work on getting some connection and stuff.
And it's the live stream.
What's that?
You're using live stream.
It's called it's called Light Go Light Stream. It's called. But yeah, I mean it's just a
Streaming
website that
service.
yeah. Where's the new stream? Where's the new stream? That's Ray Ray from yesterday.
Crazy. Oh, I do have
The Revelations with
Jay
Ray Ray.
Crowder on the team.
Only showing the 25 minutes ago. I'm not showing this one that I'm trying to start now. Popping up yet. That's last week. That's the one that stopped working.
Dwight Howard is a prick.
It still says we're live. I don't understand this. Is Dwight Howard a prick? I didn't know.
I had him on the team last game. He didn't do nothing. Now he balling.
Wait a minute. It's still saying we're live,
Oh,
and it's doing this. What the heck?
I'm over here saying stuff.
It's okay. Dwight Howard is not watching the show, but oh, what the heck? That's so weird. Hey, everybody,
We
welcome
have
back to the
sound.
show. I
We're here.
guess I don't know what just happened, man. That was super
They had
weird.
me over here checking out basketball. I thought we had to
Ray was
start the whole
playing
new show over.
FanDuel or something over there.
What in the
What in the
world?
world just
Good
happened?
thing we
Dude?
ain't say nothing on the hot mic.
That'd have been weird. Yeah. Also, never say
That
anything
could
during
have
the
been
technical
controversial.
difficulties.
Hey,
What
Tim.
were we talking
No.
about?
Man, we were talking about why Joe not on all these ballots.
Why is Joe not? She is on all the ballots.
I mean, not on the
She's
ballots,
not on
but
the
on
debate
the
stage.
debate stage, being on all the
I
ballots.
saw somebody post something earlier that said, now that Trump has the coronavirus, if he's not able to debate, can we do Joe Jorgensen versus
She need to
Joe
be up
Biden
there
debates?
anyway.
She needs to be up there anyway. You're right.
I think it'll change the dynamic. I mean, could
Yeah.
you imagine how women may feel if Trump's up there just constantly interrupting a woman and
Another
trying
woman,
to
yeah.
bully a woman on stage?
Yeah.
I think it would definitely change the dynamic. And now they're talking about concerns with the vice president debate because Trump caught the Rona, and I'm like, man, look, you gotta put your mask on, but we need to have these debates.
Yeah.
I
The people
mean,
need to know where the candidates stand.
yeah,
So for sure, the debates need to happen.
from the horse's
But you
mouth.
need to know where all the candidates
All the
stand.
candidates stand. And it's just, you know, in the year 2020, Tim, it just blows my mind
Yeah.
how many people keep saying we're screwed because of these two choices,
But won't vote for the other
but won't
choice.
vote for the other choice. And
It's
they're like,
circular logic too,
it's really crazy.
because the reason is, well, the third party is not going to win. And it's like, well, what if we all vote for the third party? And it's like, no, because we can't vote for the third party because then we're not, because we're giving votes to the other people. And it's like, well, no,
That makes no sense.
no, we're not. Like, people just talk themselves in circles about that because, like, no, vote for the party that makes the most sense to you.
Right.
And it's funny to me because, there's so many people on the right that are really not Republican.
Right.
And there's so many people on the left that are really not Democrat.
Right. And it's, yeah.
But they but they don't. But they still won't vote for the
Right.
third
And
party.
it's people on both sides
Yeah,
that say the same thing. And I'm like, but if y'all vote, so say if you did vote third party, both sides of them, and Trump got 30%, Biden got 30%, and Joe got whatever,
right,
37% or whatever the hell it
right.
would be. You know what I mean? Like it just makes no, it's so mind boggling that I just I don't know how to talk to people or deal with people like that. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like there's clearly another
That's
option.
right. So if 50% of people are Republican and 50% of people are Democrat, if 20% of the people on that are Republican vote third party and 20% vote,
Third
that's
party will win.
40%. It's
Right.
40% versus 30 and 30.
Third party would win.
Third party would win.
Exactly.
That's right. So it's not that third party can't win.
It's that people
People have been brainwashed into believing
hogtied to their
that
party.
third party can't win.
Gang. They're gang banging.
Gang. Yes,
They
that
gang
is
banging.
absolutely correct.
Gang. And
It
it's
is.
just crazy, man. So I really don't get it, and especially in this election, because people are like, well, I don't know her political background. She doesn't have any political background. I'm like, okay, neither did Trump. Well, I've never heard of her. Well, before Obama got elected, nobody heard of him
Joe
either.
Biden, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've heard of Joe Biden because he's been in politics for 47 years. Yes, since he was 12 years old. Born into it like he's royalty or something.
So crazy that he's been in office 20% of the time that the country's been
a country.
That's ridiculous.
That's nuts.
Like when you really think about that, it really puts into perspective how young this country really still is.
Yeah.
In like terms of, how long like the UK, like Britain's been around,
right. And
like,
it makes sense.
These other things, like we're a baby,
and it makes sense because these other countries have kind of found a different way, and we're still like the younger sibling trying to prove itself,
right?
Getting in everybody's business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like trying to prove its worth.
That's
like,
true. Yeah,
we're America, and it's like let's pipe down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And figure this thing out at home. So. But yeah,
we definitely need to stay out of other countries' affairs.
Yeah, man. Like, what we're not the world police. Like, you can't even police your own people right.
Yeah,
like
we do that very wrong,
man.
So,
but yeah, man, I'm just, I think it's time for people to hopefully start waking up and, again. It's about who they put around them when they get into political office. I mean, the Constitution's right there. The rules are laid out. Anybody could be president, man. Ronald Reagan was an actor before he became president. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, Jesse Ventura got into politics. Like anybody.
And Schwarzenegger
can get...
basically went like as far as he could go in politics because he's not a native-born citizen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he climbed that political, like not really climbed any kind of ladder because I think he just like became governor of California.
Married to a Kennedy.
But like, yeah. So, but like he probably could have been president if he were a natural born citizen.
Right.
Like, Schwarzenegger could have probably pulled that off.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's anybody can run for political office, man. I mean, right now we can get up and we can cast our vote for something local and off goes our political careers.
Was it you and I that were talking about? I know Jeff and I talked about this the other day. He was at the shop, but I was talking to him about it because I was talking to somebody else about it. And I don't know if you and I were we talking about how if Trump would have ran as an independent.
Yeah.
Was that me and you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that on the show or was that just
I think
us
we were talking about it. It might have been afterwards.
Yeah. And how if he would have ran as an independent, he probably still would have won.
And would have shattered
would have really shattered everything.
Yeah.
And so and I think we started it out. We were talking about how he had to get nominated as a Republican.
Right.
The Republican Party had to nominate him.
They want,
Otherwise, he would have still ran
as an independent
and probably
That's
still
what he
won.
initially planned to do.
Right.
And they gave him the
So to
nomination
keep the two-party system in
system.
place,
They
they
gave
gave
Trump
Trump
the
the
nomination
nomination,
because the
essentially.
Democrats had
Right.
Hillary penned it first. And like it's your time, baby. The Clintons did well. Y'all passed all these bills that jacked America over, and it's your time,
Right.
baby.
It's
And
interesting too that everybody, when Hillary was running, all the Democrats were, when Obama was running, it was, oh, we need a black president, we need a
right,
black president. When Hillary's running, it's, oh, we need a woman president, we need a woman
woman
president.
president,
And then now there's like
a
another woman on
qualified
the
woman president,
on the ballot, and people are like,
and no
well,
women
no,
are
no,
talking.
not
Yeah,
that
no,
woman
yeah, not that
president.
woman president. We don't need a woman that bad.
Right.
And it's like, what are you talking about? This is
Your
the first.
whole deal 4 years ago
Was
was
we need a woman president. It's time to have a woman in
Right.
office. And
And
now none of the women,
No, we're
especially the
good.
Democratic women that were all for, well, she's a woman, I'm gonna go vote for a
Right.
woman. None of them are talking that woman crap now.
Right.
And that just lets you know that it's gang.
That's right.
It's all about my party, so I can sit around the water cooler and be like, hey, we beat you. And it's
Right.
like, that's why America is going in the dumps,
Yeah.
because everybody wants to have the kudos around the water cooler of saying, hey, my party won this time. And it's like, but America is losing.
Yeah.
Why you worried about your party?
We may not know who won the debate, but we definitely know that we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens.
And it's every 4 years, the same thing. Well, I'm going to choose the lesser of the two evils. And I'm like, look, man, this is why people don't participate, but it's
Exactly.
also why people should participate, because all these
1000%.
sleeper cells, like I said, Obama brought 15 million new voters
Right.
to the ballots.
Right.
So to the box. So all these sleeper cell voters out here, they wake up and actually stop saying I'm not gonna participate and go vote for third party.
Right.
You got a real
For
problem.
the party that makes the most sense to them,
Right.
which in most cases is the third. Like, for real. Like, I just don't get the logic behind voting for the candidate that you like. So somebody posted the other day, after the debate, about Joe Jorgensen getting into the debate, and then somebody commented, why can't she debate? And the response that someone else gave was, because she can't win. And I was like, not being able to win, I agree,
right,
that Joe Jorgensen's probably not going to win this
Right.
election, even if she gets to debate.
yeah, there's no momentum.
But not winning isn't grounds for
Not being able
not
to
being
debate.
able to
Yeah.
debate. One of the two candidates that is debating isn't going to win.
Right, exactly.
So
Exactly.
she's not going to win isn't viable.
It
a
is
viable response.
It
Like,
is not. It's the
there
same.
has to be something better than
It's
that.
the same silly rhetoric that the two parties keep having their people push.
Right.
What do we need a third party for? We got our system right here, and it's
Right.
like, because
We
the
have two
system's not
wings
working.
of
Yeah,
the same bird.
it's not working.
Birds don't have three wings.
That's why we need a. That's why we need a mediator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think this is the first time a woman's been on the ticket for the Libertarian Party.
I think that's probably true. Yeah.
So it's interesting. And for people to say, on one hand, every vote counts, but if you go cast it for this party, it doesn't count.
wasted.
It's
Yeah.
wasted. It's like, what are you talking about?
You can't have it
Like,
both ways.
yeah,
it's
like-
either every vote counts or every vote doesn't count.
I
One or the
mean,
other.
what are you talking? Do people even hear themselves speak?
They don't.
Golly.
People don't hear themselves speak
Golly.
because what people do is just regurgitate what they heard
regurgitating.
on the TV.
God.
All people do, especially when it comes to politics, is regurgitate what they heard on CNN and Fox. And it's crazy.
Which is
It's crazy to me.
sometimes fine, but you have to have some logic of
You have
your
to use your own
to put.
mind.
just some of the stuff that they say, and I'm like, it's like, those sayings that we used to have back in the day, and then you get older and you're like, what the hell were we saying that for? You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense.
The one of the interesting things right now to me is this whole Proud Boys group,
I don't
right?
even know what this group is. That was the first time I'd heard of it.
So um they're like a militia group essentially of guys and women, I'm sure too, who are like ready to go
At a
when
moment's
when
notice.
it's time
Yeah.
to go, like
The
Civil
zombie
War style, right?
apocalypse.
Yeah, basically, right? Kind of like what we were talking about right before the show.
Oh yeah.
Um, but the guy that started this group is a black guy.
Okay.
And the group itself as a whole is like very diverse.
Yeah.
Right. But it's being called a white supremacist group by the Democrats.
That's definitely what it made it sound like during the debate. Like, I never even heard of it.
right.
But
So you're telling me that a group started by a black guy that has one of the most diverse groups of people out of any of these other groups that are out there
yeah,
is a white supremacist group?
it's Uncle Ruckus. Or what's
It's
that?
definitely Clayton
Yeah,
Bigsby.
Clayton Bigsby. Clayton
It's
Bigsby.
clearly Clayton Bigsby
Yeah.
that started this group.
Yeah, I had no idea. And
Yeah.
then I think my buddy Dan shared some with me in Facebook Messenger about, I guess, Black Lives Matter and Proud Boys having a meeting and
Yeah,
saying they denounce white supremacy
That's
and
right.
all this other stuff. So I was like, I never even heard of it. So I'm like, I don't know what all of that was about.
but that's a prime example of propaganda
yeah,
of like the Democratic Party and the Democratic media
yeah.
saying this is what this group is about,
And this is what you should think
and
about.
this is what you should think about that, when none of that is actually the case.
right.
It's just and the sheep are just like, oh,
Just jump right on it.
and they regurgitate it back onto their Facebook feeds and all of this
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like, and now their friends see it and go, oh, they're a white supremacist group.
Yeah,
Well, screw them.
yeah.
And it's like, no, they're not. But now everyone
But
thinks
it's
they
too
are.
late.
It's too late.
Too
At that point, it's too late.
Yeah, people just already, they gonna roll with it. Ball's rolling downhill and nobody can stop it.
People are also afraid to change their minds.
Really, man. That I
You know
think
what's
the best saying
interesting?
is you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
You know what's interesting? I think, and I heard this from somebody recently, somebody that I listened to, a podcast or something, that changing your mind is a superpower.
Yeah, being able to change.
Being able to change your mind about something is like huge,
Yeah,
because what that says is, I don't care what you think. I've told you that I believe this, and now I'm changing my mind and telling you that I
Right.
believe this. I'm admitting that I was wrong.
yeah. That's
And I'm
powerful.
okay with that.
yeah,
That's really powerful,
That's
because
powerful.
people are super scared to admit that they're
Yeah.
wrong. But why? Like, if you were wrong, you were wrong.
right.
Like, oh well.
It's a power
Don't
thing.
continue to be wrong.
I'm telling you, it's a it's a power tripping thing. If you ask me, like it's a position stance. I don't know. It's weird though.
Right.
Like, to not be able to, like you said, admit your fault, admit your wrong, your mistake, or whatever. Like, it's crazy. What was Jeff talking about? He took the easy road. I missed
That was when we were talking about Trump running on the Republican ticket.
Oh, right.
Instead of- Oh, that's what Jeff and I talked about the other day, was Trump was like, okay, yeah, I'll run on the Republican ticket.
But I'm gonna do what I want.
Well, yeah, that. But also, Trump wanted to win
Yeah,
more than he wants to be president.
yeah, definitely.
And that's probably still the case.
Yeah,
Trump wants to win the election more than he
Yeah.
actually wants to be president.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to lose.
right. And you know what? It was crazy. Like, with him talking about the ballots being rigged,
Right.
and there was that point in there when he was like, "And if I lose, I'm gonna tell my people," and he stopped short. And the moderator was like, "Tell your people what?" And then they kind of like moved on from the conversation. But I'm like, man, Trump was about to let the cat out the bag, man.
Yeah.
Like, tell your
There's
people to do what?
I actually saw a video of this white kid, and he's in this case, yeah, he's got to be white. um, and he was talking about how there's a war coming, and he was
Like,
like,
people really preparing for this stuff.
yeah, he was like, if Trump gets elected, the Antifa, Black Lives Matter, so and so, in his assumption, are going to try to start a war.
Yeah.
And the other people are ready for that.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, it would be safe to assume that the other side of that coin is more ready for you to attack than you are ready to attack.
Right.
Yeah. They're more ready to defend than you are ready to attack.
Right.
Not you, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
But then he said, if Biden wins, like, we're going to attack.
Right.
And it was like, wait a minute.
Either way.
Like, so either way, we're just, doesn't matter what happens come November 5th or 4th or whatever, like, it's wartime.
Yeah.
Like, game over.
Makes no sense.
Why won't we just do it now?
Yeah.
Like,
Makes no sense.
If we know we're gonna do it then, why not just pull the trigger?
Yeah. Just makes absolutely no sense. Which brings
Yeah.
you to the case, what if Joe won?
What if the other Joe?
You know what I mean?
JoJo
like,
wins.
What if JoJo wins?
Yeah.
Like, what does anybody have to say then?
You know, I said earlier that I don't believe that Joe Jorgensen could win this election. I'm gonna renege on that. I'm gonna change my mind.
Anything is possible.
The amount of people that I see supporting Joe Jorgensen this time around, and I don't think it's just because I follow people that are libertarian.
No,
there are way more people planning to vote for Joe Jorgensen than there have ever been
in the history. I think people will be surprised.
Third party.
I think people will be surprised.
I think she could win this.
Yeah, I think people will be surprised at the voting numbers when they come out.
Would almost be willing to bet, in my assumption, as of right now, Donald Trump is going to win this election.
I would have to say the same thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Jorgensen gets close to the same amount of votes as Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if
not at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, her stance on things, her policies, are
at the end of the day, right. Don't we all just want to be left alone?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I mean, her
just
policies, even for opening up the market and having capitalism. I'm like, that's what this country's built on. Let it happen. Like, everything that she's talking about with reforms, I'm like, this is actually the America Hamilton envisioned.
Right. It's the America that our forefathers envisioned.
Yeah, sure. Like, I don't know what these other two candidates talking about. They're not talking about much at all except cocaine sons and whatever's going on in Moscow and Russia. And I'm like, what about America? Like, what's going on right here? Like, answer these questions. So I think people will be surprised. So
it's going to be interesting for sure. Well, here's an example. 100% of the people in this room have never voted before.
Exactly.
And are planning to vote for Joe.
I'll tell you.
I would imagine that if that's the case, out of just the two people sitting right here, there are a lot more people in that same position.
If nothing else, I'm voting for her because I'm just starting to study up and like look at some of her policies because I don't want to vote for the two-party system.
Right.
For nothing else, I'm just like, you know what? If I want to be a rebel, I'm going to vote against the two-party system.
Right.
And I'm going to vote for the Libertarian Party.
We got to tear it down.
Like Trump said, what do you have to lose? Your
what do you have
schools are closing. Your children are jobless. Like, what do you have to lose? Exactly.
True.
And I mean, as a black man, I'm definitely never, ever Even though this will be my first cast, bound to cast my vote for somebody that tells me what I am or not if I don't vote for them.
That's right.
And now
Well,
somebody,
if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you're not
you're
black,
not
right?
black. And people will say, well, he said that sarcastically. Well, you can't say he said that sarcastically and then turn around and bash Trump for saying maybe you can inject yourself with some bleach and get
Right.
cured. He said that sarcastically as well. So you took it
Right.
serious. Hey, we ain't gonna cherry pick around
That's
here.
right.
Biden said what he said, and you gotta be a fool
Right.
if you think you could tell me what I am and what I ain't. If I don't cast my vote for you, get lost and
Right.
get some real policies.
Right.
47 years, Joe.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
8 of those 47
I ain't
years
trying to make
were
nobody
spent
decide nothing.
as the second most
Yeah.
powerful person in the country.
I ain't trying to make nobody
So-
decide nothing. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, you was around when that crime bill got passed. You can't get them kids they father's time back.
Right.
While y'all out here waging fake war on drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hate the
So
war on drugs.
hey, look, I ain't trying to hear nothing he talking about. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's my take.
I'm not black, but I agree.
Oh, you're not?
No. I don't know if you guys
You
had
one of the
noticed-
brothers, Tim.
I don't know if you guys had noticed that or not, but I'm not
Don't
black.
let the beard fool you.
Yeah. I got straight ass white people hair and a red beard, but somehow I'm black. I got told the other day I sound like Bubba Sparks. I was
Oh,
we
for
were
real?
we were recording a song, and the guy that was recording was like, "You know who you sound like? Bubba Sparks." And I was like, "It's actually kind of funny because when I wrote the song that I was recording, when I was like playing it through my head, I was like, it sounds kind of like a Bubba Sparks song. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And then the guy said it, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, actually you do on that track you sent me too.
kind of."
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
On the real.
I was a big Bubba Sparks fan back in the day, so maybe
That's what's up.
he influenced me a little bit.
Hey, Bubba had some hits, man.
He did.
On the real.
He had the what was the song with the Yin Yang Twins or somebody, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
Ugly or whatever.
He had that, but what's that other jam that man, that booty song?
Oh, booty, booty,
Booty,
booty, rocking it.
everywhere.
That's the one I was thinking of,
I
actually.
found you, Miss New
Booty,
Booty. Hey, that thing was banging in the
I'm
club.
not gonna do one of those type of tracks. maybe we'll see.
Hey, you never know, man.
Yeah,
Ain't,
I might
ain't
sell
nothing
out.
wrong with that. On the real, people
Right
like
now.
to jig and dance.
That's right.
But I was talking trash on the way over here about us talking MLB. I can't believe they got 16 teams in the playoffs, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
over
that's
half the
more than
league.
half the league.
I'm like, that is
That's
nuts.
super weird.
You know what I'm saying? So the Mets did not make the
No, they
playoffs,
did
right?
not.
Okay. 'Cause I was talking trash, and I'm like, wait
They
a
did
minute,
not.
are the Mets in the playoffs?
They're not. They're not even close.
No.
Yeah.
Well-
The way that the MLB season or the way the playoffs work this year, and I guess moving forward, is the best record in the National League and the best record in the American League get a bye.
Oh, get the rest day playoffs.
Yep. And now and then the top 2 teams in each division make the playoffs. So that's 12 teams right there.
Yeah.
And then
in
you
each
get
division.
in each division there's 3
Right.
divisions in each league. And then
12, 13, 14.
2 wild card spots from each league.
Right.
So the next 2 best records after those
Get those
2,
games.
right, get wild card spots. But what was interesting this year was one division has 4 teams go into the playoffs because they get 2 spots by default because the top 2 teams in each division make the playoffs.
Right.
And then after that, it's the next 2 teams with the best
Best
record,
Yeah.
which were the next 2 teams in that division.
Wow.
Yeah,
The whole division in the playoffs.
everyone but one.
Yeah.
There's 5 teams in each division in baseball, and 4 of them in the. I think it's the National League Central. I think.
Yeah.
4 out of the 5.
Yeah, because the Cardinals made it, the
It's
Brewers
the-
made it with a
that's
losing record.
That's the division. It's the Cubs, the Cardinals,
made
the
it, and
Brewers,
Reds in it.
and the Reds. The
Yeah.
Pirates are the only ones that didn't make it. I think
Yeah.
out of that. I think that's who's the other fifth
Damn, I
team
think
is
the
in that
Cubs
division.
got put out today.
Oh, really?
I didn't
Did
hear
they
the
get a
score.
one game where they had to play a
No, it was
wild card
best of
team?
3.
Oh, was it
They
already?
lost game 1, and they said something about a couple teams move on today, and I'm like, damn, the Cubs was down 1-0. I didn't hear it though.
I don't know. I haven't
Man, I worked
watched any
long ass
baseball because
12
Mets
hours.
are out. So
Yeah, I've
sucked.
watched the highlights, man. I've been on NBA Finals in this football, man.
Watched that game last night.
Yeah. You talking about
The football game?
the Broncos and the Jets?
Yeah.
I did. Sam Darnold had a big run. I won
What
some money
about
on the
that
game.
run, dude?
That was crazy.
That
like,
was ridiculous.
I didn't know Sam Darnold had that in him. I mean,
I don't know if Sam Darnold knew Sam Darnold had that
I'm
in
like,
him.
hey, he got some burners.
It was like 6 guys on the Broncos just decided not to tackle him.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, we missed.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, Sam's going to take this the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was really
56
strange.
yards.
I was actually surprised that the Jets didn't win that.
I picked them to win.
Going into the game, I thought the Broncos were going to win it.
Yeah.
But once the game started, the first little while, I was like, I don't know. Maybe the Jets are going to pull this off.
Because I picked the Jets to win
and they did not.
Just because it was like one of those weird weeks. So they do the pick 'em on FanDuel, where if you pick all the games right, you win $5,000 or a share of.
Right.
And it goes up every week if somebody doesn't win it. But I picked the Jets to win it. But on my individual team, I picked mostly Bronco players to be the star. But I had the Jets kicker.
I did that too. I played because I was doing. I have a DraftKings account.
Yeah.
And I had on Thursday night games. They might do it for other ones too, but they do. You pick like a 5 or 6 team.
Yeah.
Pick 6 player team.
It's 5 on FanDuel.
I think it might be 5, and you get one of them as your captain. You get extra points
MVP,
for that one.
Yep.
So the way it works on DraftKings is you get 1.5 points times points for your captain, and then you pick 4 other players. And the only Jet that I picked was Jamison Crowder. The rest of them were Broncos. And my captain was actually the Broncos defense.
You could pick defense in that?
Yeah.
See, on FanDuel, you can't pick the defense.
Because I was like,
on the 5 team.
Broncos defense against
the Jets
against Darnold might be decent. Yeah, the Broncos defense got destroyed last night.
I mean, they got some sacks. Now the Jets,
they did.
The Jets called a couple. They actually scored a touchdown and caught a couple interceptions.
They did.
Jets defense probably would have.
Jets defense did do good. I'm pretty sure.
Got some points, but
if you picked Sam Darnold in your fantasy team this week,
you balled.
You did.
The person
you're already winning.
Yeah, the person that won like $15,000 had Darnold. And I had a pretty good team. I did win money last night.
Did you? I did not.
And I had Melvin Gordon as my MVP.
So did I, but not as my MVP.
And then I had Judy.
Me too.
I had both kickers.
Oh, okay.
And they both scored pretty good.
Right.
And then I had Fant. And he got hurt.
See, I picked Noah Fant too.
Yeah, he got hurt, man. He was playing good.
I had Noah Fant. I had like I said, the defense, Judy, Melvin Gordon, Jamison Crowder, and who was the other? Some guy on the Broncos that I don't really know who he is, but he was supposed to. No, but I wish.
Yeah, I wish
that guy balled out last night too.
For real.
But yeah. Anyway, I didn't win any money.
Won a little bit, enough to keep playing.
Yeah, well, I think I have like $12 in my account now or something.
When we went blank for a little bit, I checked my FanDuel. I was winning big in basketball.
Were you?
Real big, and that was without my MVP Anthony Davis at the top of the heap right now.
He's balling.
So I'm like, okay, if I'm already winning like this, and these role players keep it up, eventually, come third, fourth quarter, Anthony Davis gonna be at the top of this list.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which will shoot my points up even higher. So I don't want to talk about it.
Don't talk about it because you'll ruin it.
I jinx myself. I turn on FanDuel and Anthony Davis will be out with an ankle injury. It's
that would not be good. The way he's been playing so far this postseason, it would not be good.
He been balling. He going for that MVP.
Yeah,
I think he gonna.
I don't know that he might not have it locked, man. Yeah. From what I've seen, the highlights, like he seems to be balling.
I think he'll get it. He unstoppable. And Dwight Howard been surprising me, man. I mean, Dwight Howard's a whole new character.
Yeah.
Like, used to be goofy Dwight. always playing, smiling, trying to joke around on the court in this series,
He
and
got
even
serious,
yeah,
huh?
this playoffs, he just like talking trash, about to get in the fights. I'm like, oh, now you want to act like a big man.
Right.
Shaq must have came and got in your ear or something,
Right.
like now he acting tough. So, but it's been good, man. I'm just happy sports on, take away from the
Truth.
monotony, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
other than that, it's been good times. Been good times, real good
Agreed.
times.
Agreed.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Going to hang out with the friends,
Yeah. At the
get
new
some grub.
place.
Yeah, at the new place, man. We're gonna watch some college football. Who you got tomorrow, man? I'm taking the
I don't
Gators.
even know who's playing.
What? I know Alabama playing Texas A&M.
That's right.
The big game tomorrow, I think, is Georgia
And
versus
Auburn.
Auburn.
Georgia Auburn's the
That
big game
should be
tomorrow.
a good
That is
one.
right. I did
Everybody
know about
picking
that.
Georgia.
Yeah.
They say they got the best defense in the
Really?
country, but Auburn always
Georgia lost a
surprised.
lot of players to the draft this year,
Not only
though.
that, but their quarterback even opted out. They starting,
Really? So,
yeah.
like, Jake Fromm went to the
He went to the
NFL,
league,
and then the person who was
taking
coming
his
in after
place,
him opted out.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
That's interesting that they're still, like, supposed to be good with
yeah, I
all
mean
of
they
that.
still got
'Cause they
Pickens
also,
out there.
DeAndre Swift went to the
He
league.
did. He dropped that pass against my
Um,
Bears. I was happier than that. I'm like, woo! Thank God for rookie mistakes.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw somewhere that LSU had like 16 people go to the NFL or
And
something.
and then Chase opted out the season. And look, LSU lost the first game of the year.
Yep.
That's crazy. To Mississippi State ain't no slouch. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like they had a good program when what's his name was over there. It's on the tip of my tongue. The coach for Florida now.
I don't even know.
Was it not one
Not
Muschamp? That was before then. Golly. I hate when I do that.
I don't know either.
But anyway,
my mom's watching. She should know. She's
he
a
built
Florida
up
Gators
a good
fan.
program over there. But LSU lost and Oklahoma lost to K-State.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't get to watch the game, but I saw the highlights from that one, and I was like,
some
wow.
of these players, like, man, we should have just set out the season for Rome.
But you know what? That's interesting. It's interesting to me. That's actually one of the reasons. I don't think there should be any rankings for college football until like 4 or 5 weeks into the college football, because
you're not right. But why?
You're not the same team. Now I understand that in the NFL you're not necessarily the same team either.
Yeah.
But that's more by choice.
Yeah.
You let players go, you pick up new players. There's an organization that gets to make those decisions. In college football, LSU lost a whole half their team to the draft.
Right.
Of course they're not going to be one of the best teams in the league. They won the national championship, but half the team is going to the NFL.
Right, I see what you're saying. They do these preseason rankings, hyping it up, and I guess it's all for BC, because if you lose early, then you run the table.
You busted out anyway.
Right.
But
well,
still.
you can run a table. The earlier you lose, the better.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So if you start, but think about it, and it actually, I kind of
like
it because if it gives say you won a championship like LSU did, and even though you lost players, because everybody didn't leave,
right?
And you get ranked high because you're the defending champion. Right. You're in that top 5. So if you do lose,
you only drop a couple spots.
Right. You're not dropping as far depending on who you lost to and how you lost.
Yeah.
You're not dropping as far, and that was a close loss. So if, say LSU was
and then you went out
2,
you pop
they
back
probably
up.
They won't drop
they
out. They
actually started the season at like number 6, I think.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting considering they are the defending champions.
Right.
But you also
losing those players,
have to take into consideration
Burrow,
that you lost your whole team.
Especially when you lose your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference.
Who was the Heisman winner,
right?
And all of that stuff.
But they're not going to drop out of the top 12. You probably drop 4 or 5 spots the most, because it was a close loss.
Right.
And that gives you
and
time
you can
to
come
build back
up.
Up. Yeah, especially if they run the table, win a sec, they'll be right back in it. Because say Alabama goes undefeated or whatever, LSU meets Alabama.
What do you think about this? I'm a Florida State fan.
Yeah.
I've always been a Florida State fan. So by default, I'm supposed to hate Florida, right?
Kind of.
Right? You understand how rivalries work, right? everyone watching, I'm sure if you've ever seen
Like if you're a
sports at
Cubs
all,
fan, you gotta hate the White
you
Sox.
can't, or in the Cardinals,
Yeah.
you can't like the Cardinals. But in football, it's a little bit different, though. I have this opposite mentality, though. Like, I want Florida, not this year because we're not going to play them at the end of the year,
Right.
but in a normal football season, we always play Florida the last game of
Right.
the season. I want Florida to win 11 games.
Yeah. So that by the time you
Right.
play them,
Right.
they're
I'm
good.
playing the best team in the
Yeah.
country. And if I beat them, I can say I beat the best team in the country.
Right.
Why do people want their rival to lose and not
Just to talk
win
trash.
every game except the one when you play me?
Yeah. Just
I've
to be
always
like, "This
wondered
school
about that.
Sucks. Just to talk that trash. I mean, but
So
no,
negative.
what you're saying. I mean, they just want to talk trash.
People like to be negative.
Yeah, all the time.
It's negativity.
Negativity breeds negativity.
It does. It's that's what I've actually contributed it to when I think about it that way. I'm like, it's literally a negative mindset versus a positive mindset.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can come up with, is that if you want this other team to lose that, but you almost want the other team to lose more than you want your team to win.
Yeah.
That's backwards thinking.
It's
to
terrible.
me. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Anyway,
it's terrible.
It's 9:06. Ray, do you have any final thoughts for the week since
we
we lost some time
technical
there?
difficulties.
We'll
I blame it
have
on
to
Tim.
patch that together at some point.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Well, I will say in a couple weeks we may have our guest on the show.
A guest, that's right.
So we'll see about that. We'll continue.
I actually talked to somebody
Yeah.
About coming on the show. Well, a friend of mine, Chris Cumby,
Okay.
who he's had a couple podcasts in the past. He's a business guy. He's written a book.
Yeah.
I think he might have actually written 2 books. And he really wants to come on the show, but he's got to work it around his other stuff.
Yeah.
So, now that we moved it to Friday, that might
work
change
better.
things a little bit.
That's
We'll
what I was
see.
saying earlier.
Yep.
It might work for a few people that have been trying to come on. And
Yeah.
again, I don't know how for all you listeners that have, like my cousin, Jason, my cousin them want to come on. He has his own podcast that he does as well as sports podcast with a couple of his buddies out that way. But our remote guest shows have not gone well.
That's hopefully gonna change.
Yeah.
As soon as I get my real computer.
So when we test that,
which
like maybe I'll test it and I'll be at home and
praise
Tim
God. Hopefully that's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. So and we can test it, and once we figure out, that we can get through a clean 20 minutes, straight, and then we can talk about it again.
That's right.
But final thoughts for me, especially just hitting on talking about the voting that's coming up. And again, it's important. We will have a voting show, and if you're listening, we're looking for you a seasoned voter, a seasoned pay attentioner to politics, that wants to come on the show and kind of talk to our people and inform them about voting. We can talk the history of voting, potential, voter suppression, things like that. Definitely, Charles would love to have you on to talk about
preferably
the upcoming
before
vote.
November the 3rd.
Preferably before Halloween as well, because we're doing a special Halloween show that Friday, which is good. We moved to Friday.
That's
because
right,
because
it doesn't
Saturday.
interfere with the show. Yeah, that's right. The other show.
So we definitely will get that done. But please reach out if you want to come on and talk about voting, or someone.
Yeah.
But final thoughts on that is to please find it within yourself. I'm gonna look at the camera and say this.
Talk to the people, right?
To think independently for yourself. Like, just look in the mirror and ask yourself, man, does this party have my best interest in mind? Am I really a part of a gang? And you'll find that the answer is yes, you are a part of a gang. It's time to denounce your gang banging ways and think for yourself. Like, I'm not telling you who to vote for, where to vote, but there are other options, and I just implore you to explore them. So those are my final thoughts.
Man, I don't want to take away from your final thoughts.
Man,
that was Spot on.
Man, Jack.
I agree. I don't have any other thoughts than that. That was amazing. You're
Gotta
so
think
well
for yourself.
spoken.
Sometimes it's God just gives it to me. It's like
That's right. Hey, that's what you got. Sometimes you just got to let go and let God.
just let him take the wheel.
Don't forget to go follow us on Instagram and
Yes.
Facebook and your favorite podcast platform,
Wherever you
whatever
hear
that may be, and Twitter, and I don't know, is TikTok even still a thing? Who knows?
For now.
For the time being.
Trump coming out of that thing.
Go follow us there. YouTube, go subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications.
Check out those video snippets.
Yep, we haven't posted snippets, but there's a bunch of them in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories.
There will be more coming very, very soon. So yeah, go do that. And it's Friday night, and I have been Tim.
And I'm Ray.
The gray scale is going black. We can both say it, I think. I think it'll be cool.
Time it out just right.
Yeah, we can speak together.
One black.
Go black. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is going live again. I want to go live again. Stop with this crap with this stupid computer, bro. It was really weird, too, because, hold on. We're still, like, this computer is being awkward. I need to tell it to stop again. Because it's probably still recording us. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could turn the mics off, but